The time is 6:34. The place is the Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. It is also being live streamed on our website. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. We can go ahead with a roll call.
Trustee Gibson King.
Present.
Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Present.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Present.
Chairman Argiega.
Present. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? The school city of East Chicago is committed to developing a community of lifelong learners who are empowered to access, process, evaluate, and ethically apply information in an ever-changing global society. Next on our agenda, we have our administrator's report, and we will begin with Dr. Mitchell.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you all today. My report, we have quite a few things that we managed to accomplish over the past, since the last board meeting. We've completed the iLearn IM and biology testing for iLearn that completed on Friday. Going into the summer, we will have the IREAD 3 retesting from May 21st to May 24th and June 24th to June 28th. We do have our senior walk that's coming up. I think Ms. Chelsea is going to talk a little bit more about that. That will take place on Friday. We had a very successful job fair. Our job fair was held on May 1st, and then the second part was May 8th. We've had a couple of dozen teachers come out, and many of them have agreed to come on board with us. And so we're preparing that, doing contracts and doing negotiations at this time. That was also just a really great event. We're going to continue to do that until we're fully staffed in the fall. Our special education department, they're having a parent meeting at Lincoln, and really what we're trying to do there is to really re-engage the community, there to encourage folk that live in that community, that live in the district, that Lincoln is alive and well, and that we have some great programming going on. We're going to be doing some changes also at the Carrie Gosh. We know that this year Carrie Gosh made it to a level 3 and also made it to the point where they're able to receive On My Way to Pre-K funding. We're looking to take that to the next level. We're looking to put resources in place for Carrie Gosh to go to a level 4 and hopefully begin the process of establishing a magnet kindergarten. And that will further not only enrich that school, but put it so that our early learning in this district is one that's to be commended, and also that will set the tone for the rest of the district as those students matriculate from kindergarten to 12th grade. We had also some great gains in our health department with nursing. Since our last board meeting, we served over 300 students with CPR training and with hands-on experience at the high school. They were provided, they had simulations there, but we also had other training. We had training in AED, Community Health Net. They're going to be providing training in summer with asthma and EpiPen for our bus drivers and our security. St. Catherine's Hospital has also been a huge partner in these endeavors. And in conjunction with Community Health Net, we've right now are at 95% compliance with our immunizations. That's the first time in a long time that in the school year that we're at 95%. Take it in January, we were probably around 55%. So we're at 95%, and in the fall, we want to be at 100% because now as students enroll, we're strongly encouraging that those students go ahead and receive their immunization and vaccinations. And we have, with Community Health Net, those services we're able to provide them at no charge here in the district. So that's an awesome accomplishment. Our ELL program, we're going to be expanding that this summer to really get the immigrants that's coming into our community, to get them kind of a jump start, and as they look to matriculate into our schools in the fall. That way, they would have established some relationships with the faculty and staff, and they kind of know how the American education system works. And that not only engages the parents, but we're also engaging the students and supportive community. In our SEL program, we're doing training with the Panorama Survey. We'll be utilizing that data. And what's come up so far is that with the reward system, we're implementing that with our students to really encourage them to be better students, good character, and of good and sound body. And so we're going to start to operate a store that the students will earn these points in SEL, and they'll be able to take those points and redeem them in the store. From the research that we've done, and this is kind of funny to me because I never even thought of it, that at the high school level, one of the gifts or the things that students redeem their credits for, the young ladies, is eyelashes. So who would have thought that, right? I think that, we have someone in the audience that was just as, it was just eye-opener. So that means that the data that we're collecting, we're actually able to use it and use that to move our students and engage our students, because otherwise we probably would have been doing pens and pencils and gift certificates to McDonald's, and no, the young ladies want eyelashes. So that's the one great piece that we learned from that, and of course, we're going to continue to go forward. Also, this is the first time in many years that we've actually made it to the point of adopting everything that we need for the fall before the summer. And so I'm proud to say that we have the directors all met with the teachers. They met in this room over a period of a couple of weeks, and they've adopted Savas as for curriculum mapping and for our reading and some of our literacy programs. So that's an awesome piece. That means that this fall, we'll be starting the fall with our luggage packed appropriately with everything that we need to have a successful school year. Also, I would just like to say that we had a beautiful grand march. I was able to attend, and our president of council was just stunning, and so was all of our students, and that was very well attended. We also had a top 20 banquet, and our students performed there. So we're continuing to establish a culture of excellence, a culture of learning, and a culture where everyone is included. And that's something that just really does my heart well to see the district coming together, faculty, staff, and students, as well as the community, to really support what we're doing. So I just want to say thank you for all of your support, and thank the board for all of their support, again, for making this such a successful year. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we have the Chief Financial Officer's report.
Good evening. So we're finishing up the school year, so we're wrapping up a lot of grants at this time. Today, I got the final report from the State Board of Accounts, so we are totally completed with our audit. We have scheduled for a finance meeting for Thursday, the 16th. We're going to cancel and reschedule that due to the fact we had some conflicting schedules. So within the next couple of weeks, we will re-announce the financial meeting. We are doing grant spend down, so there's a lot of equipment is being bought now, a lot of supplies are being bought, so we're doing a lot of ordering. HVAC system for all 3 schools have started for Harrison, McKinley, and Washington. I have Midwest Electric working in most of all of them right now. So we are having late night work done, so there will be times you will see vehicles at the school late nights. They're working now till 1:30 just to start and make sure that we're fully prepared when we get the equipment in, that we can move forward with everything. No major hiccups. We just had one hiccup. We found a beam behind a wall that we didn't know was there, but keep it going. So that's going very well. We're also preparing for summer cleanup. We have, several schools have a lot of desks, a lot of tables, a lot of furniture that's sitting around. So we're going to do a summer cleanup, and we want to do it as a summer rummage sale. And then also, we're going to do a summer auction, that's going to be on the vehicles that is available to run. So that's about all we got going on now.
Thank you. Now we will move on to board reports. Policy Committee.
Mr. President, I talked to Dr. Dermody, who's the local representative for the Neola organization, and he had submitted a proposal to us, and given that we were previously aligned with Neola for our policies, he identified in some cases we were 14 versions behind our policies, so they nonetheless provided us a discount. I submitted that to Attorney Harris for review. I don't know if he might have comments on it, but we'll probably need to get through that relatively soon. He's expecting that if we approve it in, this month or even in June, that his work would start in July.
And I can piggyback on Trustee Gomez's comments. I have received the agreement and did review it. There are a couple comments that I think myself and the policy committee should review, get back to Neola for their review and comment, but I think we'll be ready to present this to the board at, if not the upcoming meeting, the meeting after that, but I anticipate it'll be the next meeting.
And finally, I do have a policy meeting I want to schedule. We have a couple of items that my colleagues have brought to me, and so I'm going to get with Trustee Smith, and we will schedule a meeting for the policy committee sometime probably next week.
All right.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, Finance Committee.
Oh, yes. Hi. At this time, there's nothing to report. You did say that the meeting for the policy meeting is canceled as of the 16th?
Yes.
Okay.
And then our last committee update is the Superintendent Search Committee.
Mr. President, that search is continuing. I talked to Dr. Nolan last night. She will be here tomorrow, along with her entire team, Dr. Hill and Dr. Castillo, to have an exec meeting with the board. In that meeting, they will expect us to all sign a confidentiality agreement that we will hold the names of the individuals who have been selected to move on in total confidence. That concludes my report.
Next thing on the agenda, we have the approval of the agenda 4.01. Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of the agenda? Seeing and hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. President, I move for approval.
Well, motion made by Trustee Gomez,
Second.
second made by Trustee Smith. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have the consent agenda. Is there any comments from the audience on the consent agenda? Seeing and hearing none, is there a motion for the approval of the consent agenda, 5.01, 5.02, and 5.03?
Mr. President, make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Trustee Rodriguez,
Second.
second made by Trustee Gomez. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we will move into new business. We have 6.01, the approval of the personnel report. Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of the Personnel Report 6.01? Okay, if you can please make your way up to the microphone up here and state your name, address, and then you can give us your comment. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Deanna Biddings, 3606 Michigan Court. I'm on the board report forced to resign as the clerk because I had to endure hostile work environment, retaliation, and I was not protected. I am a part of the union.
Ma'am, if I could interrupt you, we can't discuss individual personnel matters. If you generally have comments regarding the personnel report, you can make those.
Okay, just want to let you all know that I had to resign because I didn't feel protected. And I'll come back during public comments.
Is there any other comments from the audience at this time? Is there a motion from the board for the approval of 6.01?
Mr. President, I make a motion?
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez,
Second.
second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I just want to make sure that we are, the personnel report that we're approving excludes items 83 through 100.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any other comments at this time? Okay. Seeing none and hearing no further comments, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All oppose? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next on the agenda, we have 6.02, the approval of the claim dockets. Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.02? Seeing and hearing none, I am looking for a motion for the approval of 6.02.
Mr. President, I make a motion for 6.02.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez,
Second.
second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All oppose? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have 6.03, the approval of executive meeting January 24th, 2024, executive session January 26th, 2024, executive session January 27th, 2024, executive session January 29th, 2024, special board January 30th, 2024, exec January 30th, 2024, and the minutes of the regular board meeting February 7th, 2024. Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.03? Seeing and hearing none, I'm looking for a motion for the approval of 6.03.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez,
Second.
second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussion? I just want to say I'm probably going to abstain from this since I wasn't part of these board meetings. All right. Seeing and hearing no other discussion, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Any abstentions? There's one abstention for myself. Motion passes. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from special session February 15, 2024, February 20th, 2024, February 26th, 2024, and March 4th, 2024. Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.04? Hearing and seeing none, do I have a motion for the approval of 6.04?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve 6.04.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez,
Second.
second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All oppose? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have the approval of minutes, executive session March 11, 2024, regular board meeting March 12, 2024, executive meeting March 19, 2024, executive March 22, 2024, and the minutes, regular March 26, 2024. Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.05? I'm looking for a motion for 6.05 then.
Motion to approve.
A motion made by trustee Smith,
Second.
second made by trustee Gomez. Is there any discussion?
Mr.
yes.
President, I do have one discussion.
Okay.
It still shows my name, I think, back in March as president, so if we can have that changed.
Which, well, it
This will be the
doesn't,
first page,
which date? Because you might have still been the president.
March 12th.
You were the president at that, no.
Because it does have you present at
Okay,
the
oh, it
meeting.
does? Oh, okay. All right, we'll go ahead and fix that. What was the date, March 12th?
Correct.
Okay. That was, might have been the date. Oh, no, March 12th was,
And I believe on the last page, it does show trustee Gomez as chairman.
yeah, I was going to say, I don't think, well, I wasn't at that meeting, so he might have been acting chairman, so maybe that's where the confusion kind of comes into place.
Okay.
Yeah, because you went on a trip.
Yeah, I was out of town. How should we, so what do we need to change? Or sorry, Attorney Harris.
I'm trying to catch up. I heard a little bit of the conversation. I don't know that I heard the entire conversation. What I heard was regarding March 12th, and that trustee Gomez served as board chair for that meeting, and I think that's accurate. So I don't know that there is any change that's needed. Unless there's another date I didn't hear the comment on that other date.
Yeah, there's, in Monday, March 11th, it shows me as president.
And who was president at that time?
It should have been myself.
Okay. All right, so I think that motion to approve was made by trustee Smith. So if you'll accept that amendment, then you can make an amended motion. Yeah, if you just made a motion as amended. You see it?
That amendment.
And the second was trustee Gomez on that one?
I'll second.
Okay. All right, is there any other discussion at this time? All right. Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All oppose? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is 6.06, the approval of CI Solutions contract, the student ID badges. Dr. Mitchell?
Yes, as you all are well aware that we've been working on this solution for quite some time. We've put out our RFP and had several vendors. They all were researched, and this happens to be the best one who was the most responsive to our needs. The reason for the ID badge is for student safety and security, but also the ID badge identification system allows for tracking and verification in our Skyward system. So this particular solution not only helps us identify the students, but also help us with the lunchroom and the various things where students need to use their IDs to verify who they are. We have Andy Capitan here, who, if you have any other questions, he can answer those questions.
As you're making your way up, is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.06? All right, seeing and hearing none, is there a motion from the board for the approval of 6.06?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez. I'll go ahead and make the second. Is there any discussions or questions at this time?
Mr. President, excuse me. I was curious, Mr. Capitan, and I'm not sure, maybe Attorney Harris would know if there's any legalities, but these student ID badges, would they have capability of RFID?
The ones that we have, no, these will not have RFID. But in the future, we can go with RFID. That is an optional cost. I figured for the first year, we didn't need it because we needed to process this, not only for, like Dr. Mitchell said, we use it in the lunch room. We're also going to use the QR codes are going to be for the PBIS reward system.
Do you happen to remember how much the RFID was?
No, it wasn't that much more. I can't, I told them to just take it off, and I didn't because I didn't want to, I figured we would not be using it because right now we have no RFID
Readers?
systems here, so I wanted to save that cost.
Yeah, I know it's additional cost. I was just curious, as we look at student security, there's that balance.
Student security, a lot of them use it for transportation so that they know whether if the child is on the bus or not.
Right.
And they could, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
thank
the
you.
main reason for it.
Yeah, in the future, if you don't mind, maybe just, it'd be nice if you could just share that with the board, what it would cost for everything from the ID badge to the hardware, the buildings and,
Yeah, basically, there's no extra cost for the hardware because the printing of it stays the same. It's the card because it has the RFID solution in it.
yeah, if you could share that, I'd be interested in.
Okay,
Thank you.
I will do that, absolutely.
I have a question. Yeah, but I have a question here. I think this may be for you, Ms. Leela. At one time, did we spend money on these badges at one time before?
Yes, we have purchase badges. I do believe 2 years ago now.
But did we get them? Did we get the badges? Are they?
Yes,
do
they are in
students
the,
have them?
yes, they are in the school.
Okay, what company was that? Our students have badges, you saying?
Yes, they are in the schools. And that company was Tri-Electric that did that.
And do all the students have badges?
No, I think it was, we were only going with state regulation then, what was mandatory for badges.
That would
Okay.
be grades 6 through 12.
Yes,
6 through 12? Okay, with this Tri-Electric company?
yes,
Okay, okay.
okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I do have one question, Andy.
Yes.
And this is, are we talking about from 6 to 12, or we're talking about from?
No, we're talking for the entire district, including Kerry Gosh.
Okay, so pre-K to 12.
Yes.
They would have them now, coming up, they'll have them, but they don't have them now. That's what I thought. I know they didn't have them. That's what I was asking Ms. Leela.
Mr. President, I do have one more question. What about staff?
Staff, no, this is purely for student IDs. Staff IDs are all created by HR department.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more to it with the doors and all that.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other questions or discussion points at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have the approval of MOU with Ironworkers JATC 395.
Yes, this is another MOU as we're trying to build out our CTE programs and our career pathways for our students. This particular program is as our joint apprenticeship program with the Ironworkers. This program is intended to provide students with hand-on instruction, and also upon completion, they will gain fundamental knowledge in safety, structural steel erection, beam, walking, cutting, and occidental torch and arc welding, as well as tying rebar. This is really, this program is an awesome program because we know that we are a blue-collar community, and we have a lot of construction work that goes on, and this is one that will definitely allow our students to go from high school to career in really high-paying jobs that are needed in this area, allowing them to stay home to make a gainful living, not only for themselves, but also change the direction of their families. We do have Ms. Maren Lee here, if you have any questions that she can answer about this apprenticeship program that we are embarking with the iron workers. Ms. Lee.
As Ms. Lee makes her way up, is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.07? All right. Is there a motion from the board on the approval of 6.07?
Mr. President, I move for approval.
Motion made by trustee Gomez,
Second.
second made by trustee Rodriguez. Is there any questions or discussion points at this time?
Do have one question,
Okay,
Mr. President.
Yes.
Are these,
Yeah, for
are
us.
these earmarked for seniors only, or can juniors be a part of it as well for the
So
apprenticeship?
yeah, thank you for the question. So when I met with Mr. Thomas at the Ironworkers last week, we discussed targeting next year junior and seniors.
And you said, I have in here, each class is approximately 20 students. Are you looking for 20 students, or are you just looking for the cohorts of 20 students?
So we're looking for cohorts of 20 students. They did say that we can start with 20 students and expand if needed, because they're looking to expose as many students as they can to these careers.
All right,
I
trustee.
have just one question. On page 2, Article 5, regarding the transportation, just curious, it's saying that in the event, if this is not possible, the school will be responsible for transporting students to and from the program. But I see also that you all will try to make your best effort to provide transportation for our students. So can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, so we did discuss, when I met with Dr. Yanders, we were going to first off have this approved before moving forward with any plan with transportation. So we as a district are looking to provide transportation.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if I can add just one thing, we do have the minibuses, and we started the preliminary conversations with our director of transportation. And right now, we have students that go to Purdue, and we provide transportation with the minibus with the instructor of record accompanying those students to and from the campus. And we envision that this will work similar.
Thank you.
Is there any other comments or discussion points at this time? Seeing and hearing none, now we can go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have the approval of, we have 6.08, the approval of the summer student internships 2024.
Yes, I think this was born from, I know a number of your board members wanted to see how can we get the students involved in the summer and what we do with the careers. And our Director of Technology, Jorge Ontiveros, came up with the internship program. I believe this is not his first year. He's done it before in the past, but this will expose our students to careers in information and instructional technology. Also, what we're doing different this year is that those same students will have an opportunity to get certifications. Previous summers, they just worked. This summer, we're going to make it so that they will have opportunity to get at least one certification. During the tenure that they'll be here, some of them may be able to earn as many as 4 certifications. So we believe that this is an awesome program for our students to get them exposed to careers that's, again, high wage, high paying, also a career pathway. And Mr. Ontiveros isn't here, but I can answer whatever questions that you have. We're very versed in this program.
At this time, is there a motion for the approval of 6.08?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'm sorry, did you ask for public comment?
Oh, no. Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.08? Yes.
This will go for 8 weeks in the summer. It's 2 months, yes.
June 3rd till July 31st. Monday through Wednesday, 8 o'clock till 12 p.m. Yes.
It is a paid internship.
Is there any other questions or comments from the audience at this time? All right. Do I have a motion from the board on the approval of 6.08?
Mr. President, I move for approval.
A motion made by trustee Gomez,
Second.
second made by trustee Rodriguez. Is there any discussion at this time?
Mr. President,
Yes.
just as a point of reference to Ms. Bishop, the hourly scale is going to be $15 an hour for that student, for the students. And then I believe it also mentions that there's 8 students, correct, that will be participating in this?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
8 students.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my question is going to be, well, I'm going to wait because it's going to be the same for 6.9, so I'll just wait.
Okay. For the kids, do they get any credit, like high school credit for this, or is this just purely jobs?
No, they don't get high school credit, but they will be able to earn industry-recognized credentials.
Okay.
And what we can do is, once we can engage Ivy Tech to see if we can crosswalk those credentials for credits. But right now, the way the program was set up, it was only set up to be paid internships for our students to get them exposure to the careers. And now we would have to take the next step as lining up the industry credentials that they'll be able to earn with, and crosswalk those with the Ivy Tech to see if we can, to see if we can add those as maybe dual credit or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is enough time. It's just a matter of
This
making
is the
sure that's approved.
First summer too, correct?
This is the first summer that we're doing the industry-recognized credential with that program.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha. All right. Any other questions or discussion points at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote for the approval of 6.08. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have 6.09, the approval of summer internships, HVAC projects.
Yes, this internship is similar to the other internship where we're looking at giving our students exposure to high demand, high wage careers. This is dealing with our HVAC program. Ms. Leela has been working very diligently in the HVAC piece. I believe that one of the trustees brought up and said, we're spending all this money repairing our schools. Let's see if we can get our students plugged in to get some experience. And so that's what this program aims to do, is during the summer, we will be looking for 15 student interns that will work Monday through Thursday from 8 to 3, and providing them with work-based learning experience in the HVAC industry. And that's aligned with the IKRCC, which we already have articulation agreement with. And so this will be somewhat of the beginning of our kickoff with the Carpenters and Millwrights Union. They also do flooring also, but this is particularly focused on the HVAC.
Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.09? Yes, question? Or,
All right, so right now, any student that's interested, they would have the opportunity to let their counselor know, or they can let Ms. Maren Lee know that they want to participate. Once that happens, then there will be a selection process. So I don't think we're going to turn really anyone down for the experience, but we do have a limited amount of people that can actually participate, given that in a work-based learning environment, there's a instructor-to-student ratio that we have to maintain in order for them to get the type of experience and exposure they need in that particular career.
Is there any other questions or comments from the audience at this time? I'm looking for a motion for the approval of 6.09.
Motion.
Motion made by trustee Smith,
Second.
second made by trustee Gomez. Is there any questions from the board at this time?
Yes,
Yes.
you asked one of my questions about the credits,
Okay.
and Mrs. Artis asked my question about how the students chosen, but apparently, you said that you're requesting 15 students, so these people have not been chosen, right? It's just only going to be 15?
Yes, the amount of, the students haven't been selected at this time.
Yeah, and when they do be selected, who selects them?
They will be selected based on their interests. Right now, we have a CTE program, and we're just launching this, right? Because that's part of the MOU. So we'll have industry professionals come in, let them know what the career is. Based on their interest in the career, then there will be the instructors here at the district. The students and the parents will have to all agree that they want their child to participate in this program.
But this HVAC system, we don't have no construction. Do we have a construction CTE pathway?
We do have IKORCC, that is the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, that's the Carpenters Union, and they actually do that through their millwrights. So, yes, we do have articulation agreement with that union. And remember, part of that articulation agreement stated that if the student participates in their course or their curriculum, that upon graduation, they can automatically matriculate through the union to get to journeyman and master status if they choose to do so. So this is something that's ongoing. This is the kickoff for our relationship with IKRCC.
I do have a question. So if we look at the last one, it looks like Ontiveros is going to be like the lead person. Who's
Yes.
going to be the lead person for these students or the point person? Mostly, working with them and making sure that they're behaving and doing all the work, things like that.
Yes, this will be kind of, because it's IKRCC, they have their instructors that will be selected.
Okay.
They have their instructors.
So this-
And there will be an instructor on record. You can't have just anybody that's not skilled supervise someone in a craft. It has to be someone that has the time and talent to actually do that. So
Okay.
that person will be, has to be
One of
approved
their
and selected by IKRCC, yes.
Okay.
I just want to make one comment. I think it's a very good idea. It will lead some students to a direction of which they probably never thought about. But what we must remember is it's up to the student to apply. You must apply for these apprenticeships. They're not just going to walk up to you. You have to have the initiative to want to participate. We're getting these programs, and you're getting a little stipend, but you're also getting a lead way to an education or to a trade. So I'm just pushing this particular program and all programs regarding on-the-job training or a skill. So the students have to at least put themselves in the position to win or be a part of those applications. So it's not just up to the Teamsters or whatever program it is. They have to have the initiative, and they need to be pushed from this, not pushed, but made sure that they are aware of these programs that are particularly being offered. It's a must, because if you don't inform them from the counselors, from the teachers, from the principal, CET program, it fails. And some of these students don't, they need somebody to help them get to that point. So I'm depending upon the administration, the schools, the CTE teachers, whomever, the coaches, whoever, to push these children to a different level. Because like you said, everybody's not going to go to college, and then they might realize, you know what, I like this. And this might lead to something else. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, you get a certification a little certification at the end
You
of the
get
program.
more than a certification. If you choose to go into the union, you become a card-carrying member of the Carpenters and Millwrights and Floor Layers Union. And that right there, it is a game changer.
Thank you. Let's push our children.
Is there any other questions or comments?
Mr. President?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember when this came up, Dr. Mitchell, I had addressed this as an opportunity for children to participate in something that's constructive, in more ways than one constructive. But I do have a question. I think at some point in time, we also talked about, and is there an opportunity within this program for project management?
With this particular one, they will be exposed to project management, but it's not really geared towards that. It's geared towards the learning about HVAC. So that's pretty much, if you're looking at HVAC is a combination of plumbing and electrical. But it's through the Carpenters Union, so they're going to learn shaping and things like that, ductwork and things like that. So to answer your question, there is project management and all of that. We know it's built in, but this is not going to lead to a PMP or anything like that.
Yeah. And then a couple other questions, because when I recall when this came up and Ms. Simmons had earlier mentioned the programs projects that are going on right now at some of our buildings. Eventually, this money's drying up at the end of this year, correct, for the ESSER money? And as a result, I guess I'm asking for the long-term plan. Is there been thought to what goes on post-ESSER monies?
With this particular program, with this program, this will be built into our curriculum. So this is part of, the state has a work-based learning piece that's governed by the state. And so we are now a pre-apprenticeship site. And with that pre-apprenticeship site, once they finish us, they get to go into a union apprenticeship program. And so that's what the articulation agreement states. And, so that's what the articulation agreement states. So this is ongoing, and it's from now until there is no more IKRCC unless we do something that will negate us from,
Yeah.
our students from participating.
This particular program calls for Monday through Thursday, approximately 8 hours a day, I believe. And I guess my question, final question, is that what fund is this being paid out of?
Do you want to address that, Ms. ESSER funds?
And so that was the reason why I asked the previous
Okay.
question, that when that ESSER money ends, then how is it going to be funded?
The IKRCC, there's a $100 fee per student per year for the curriculum. That's it. And then it's work-based learning. This is an internship program in the summer. So if we want to do this next summer, we will look at funding it similar to how we're funding the IT internship.
Okay, and that fund is what?
That fund from the IT internship comes out of
IT.
IT.
Okay,
It comes out of Operation Fund.
operations, thank you.
Is there any other questions or comments?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I may be jumping off the course a little bit, but I do support this particular program. But I do want to add, and kind of piggybacking of what Trustee Gomez was stating, with our schools, beautifying our schools and things like that, I would love to see students kind of assist in those landscaping opportunities and possibly even creating maybe a landscaping intern or even environmental, something that can help beautify our schools. Because, every year we're calling consultants or companies to come out to mow the lawn and, beautify our frontage of our schools. So.
Right, and I agree with you 100%. I believe that this is the start of some great things that's going to continue to happen. Again, we have to start somewhere. We have to support with the IT department. We have to support with IKRCC. And now, as we move forward, we'll be able to add other trades and crafts to what it is that we do. again, it's almost taken on the Japanese model of education, where not only do you go to school to learn, but you also go to school how to be a good citizen and take care of your community. I believe that we have an awesome opportunity here in this school district. We're small enough that we can do these things, and we're large enough that we have the resources to actually activate them. So again, this is just one step closer to the goal where we want to make sure that we're educating students that are going to be positive contributors to not only the school district, but to the community, and more so to their families.
Any other questions or comments at this time? All right, seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next on the agenda, we have 6.10, retroactive approval of support letter for the Old Kerry Gosh Ready 2.0 grant application project.
Yes, the Ready 2.0 grant, that's a program that was put out by Governor Holcomb, where he released $500 million into the state of Indiana across 14 regions. Our region, the Northwest Indiana region, was able to secure $45 million of that $500 million. And we submitted a project to save one of our schools, to repurpose the Old Kerry Gosh into innovation community hub where people can go and get training, get skills, early childhood, various things like that. This letter is a letter of support for that grant initiative that was a consortium of community stakeholders, with the leads being the CWI, that's the CWI and United Way.
Is there any comments from the audience on the retroactive approval of 6.10? Yes.
I'm Benita White Arnold. I'm a resident of Calumet, and I really would love for you guys to approve that, to vote to move that forward. I was at the special meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I did make a statement of how that it means so much to our community of Calumet. And I think for the listening audience, to be able to have the United Way Trust, the North Township trustee, your gymnast, your preschool, your banking, the trade school, Ivy Tech, to come to Calumet, give Calumet back life, because we were lively, that would give us some energy. And also, we'll have more children. We have kids there now, but we'll have more families coming there to see Calumet, and it can return back to what it was. Now, I did state that I didn't want to lose the flavor of Kerry Gosh, but I wasn't thinking that you guys have another, that you renamed West Side, which I was the first graduating class on West Side Junior High School. I'm chilling the so in thinking about that, I thought about Mr. Passmore. He's from Calumet, and that would be an awesome person for you guys to consider. So I know I put it on the table at the last meeting that don't change Kerry Gosh, but it is a community input. It's not just a Bonita thing, but that's just something to consider that. But I really want you guys to think about Calumet. Nobody's from Calumet, I don't think, on this board. We love Calumet. Yes. We love Calumet. The Calumet people vote. Yes.
Is there any other comments from the audience at this time? All right. Hearing and seeing no other comments, is there a motion from the board on the approval of 6.10?
Motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
made by trustee Smith,
Second.
second made by trustee Rodriguez. Is there any comments or discussion points at this time? I just want to say that I'm really glad that a couple weeks ago we had the opportunity to go to Calumet, not only to see the beautiful building. They have a really beautiful auditorium, even though the building hasn't been use for students in a couple years. I was just very impressed on how well-maintained the building was, and also well-maintained the grounds were too. The grounds are, for having no students, the grounds are beautiful. It's really, like you said, kind of a beacon for the Calumet, yeah, $28 million.
Yes.
And I just really appreciated that we were able to go there and then also have our work session be with the community so we can hear them out too. I think this is great. I think it'll do wonders for our city, for Calumet, and I'm really looking forward to this project kind of getting on its feet and running.
I have no problems, but I just want to say, Ms. White, when you got up and spoke last week and you said you played hopscotch and all of that, it brings back memories. I am totally excited. I'm totally excited because like I said, Calumet, there needs to be a revise of life. And there's lives over there. We just need to bring it up. We need to uplift our own, each and every one of our sections of East Chicago. So with that being said, well, everybody knows I'm for this. I'm just for it 100%. And if I have to go out and plant flowers or whatever, I don't have a problem with that. But it is a community, it will be a community project, not only be just a school project, the school board, but it's a community project. It's not just for Calumet, it's for the city of East Chicago. And I thank you for making that comment, because it did bring back a lot of childhood memories in all my schools. Unfortunately, I'm from Gary, all my schools are torn down. So, if you have something that could bring back memories from your childhood, those are lasting memories. And I'm just elated that Calumet is on board and want to accept this. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Just to Ms. White Arnold's comment, the board has already actually signed off on this. We're just formalizing it tonight at this meeting, so we jumped on this pretty immediately right after that meeting. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Yeah, and I did hear the comments of Ms. White Arnold a couple weeks ago. But I do want to say that, with the vast amount of resources that's going into this project, as well as the support of the community, this is what competitive grants are all about. If they know that the community is supporting it, they know that we do have a structure that's well-maintained, built like Fort Knox. I think hopefully we get this grant. And I think, I know Dr. Mitchell has been pushing forward and making sure that we get it, but, this is the first time I've ever seen everyone come together for this one.
Is there any other comments at this time? All right, seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a roll call vote on 6.10.
Trustee Gibson King,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Chairman Archiega.
Yes, motion passes. Next on the agenda, we have 6.11, approval of St. Mary Catholic Church to use Harrison Elementary.
Yes, St. Mary's Church is one of our partners in the community. Not only do they participate with One Church, One School, but they've also been a tremendous supporter of our students in there. To that effect, they're having some work done in their edifice, and they would like to use our facilities as that work is done for a couple of days, well, for 3 or 4 days. And we're in support of them using the facilities as they restore their facility.
Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.11? Seeing and hearing none, is there a motion from the board to approve 6.11?
Mr. President, I move to approve.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez,
Second.
second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussions?
Mr. President,
Yes.
previous, just as a somewhat a point of order, I know this is a new park director. We may want to reach out to him. Maybe Attorney Harris can do that. But generally, we've done a motion to approve all the activities that they have. Juneteenth is coming up. They're going to ask again. So if we can get with the park director and have him list all those activities out, we can just approve them once and be done with it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Was ahead.
Okay. Is there any other comments at this time?
Mr. President?
Yes, Attorney Harris?
So I see their certificate of liability insurance that's included here. I don't see where the School City of East Chicago was added as an additional insured. Maybe that'll happen, that's in the works, but we just need to make sure we get that.
We'll make sure that is done. We'll take care of that first thing tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Is there any other questions or comments at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. And next, we have 6.12, the approval of the use of the administrative parking lot by EC Parks and Recreation Department. Is there any comments from the audience at this time on the approval of 6.12? Seeing and hearing none, well, I guess, Dr. Mitchell, do you want to explain this, or it's pretty much clear?
Yeah, sure. The Parks Department wants to host a pet clinic. We're not going to be like some folk who go out behind the shed and take care of our animals. We want to make sure that our animals are healthy and that if they're going to be in a community, that they also have the care that they need. And this is a program that's put on by the Health Department, the Animal Shelter, and they're asking to use our facilities. I believe Trustee Gomez had some comments about how we can bring a lot of all these requests up under one umbrella so that there's kind of a blanket that we won't have to come back and forth. But I do appreciate them doing the letters one at a time so the community knows what's going on. Trustee Gomez.
Is there any comments from the audience on this time at the approval of 6.12?
The only thing is, that pet clinic is this Sunday, so you need to approve it, not send him a letter. So that's the Sunday, May 19th. Have time. Music and all of that. The pet clinic is this Sunday, May 19th. So you need to approve this tonight and then send the letter for those other dates that Trustee Gomez would like to have. My suggestion.
Is there any other comments or questions at this time from the audience? All right, seeing and hearing none, is there a motion from the board for the approval of 6.12?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Gomez, second made by Trustee Rodriguez. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have 6.13, the approval of the paraprofessional collective bargaining agreement.
The para-collective bargaining agreement has been TA'd by the union and also by the administration, district administration. We do have Attorney Cantrell here representing the paraprofessionals. This is similar to the other CBAs where there was a flat pay increase as well as a stipend. Attorney Cantrell.
As Attorney Cantrell is making his way up, is there any comments from the audience on the approval of the paraprofessional collective bargaining agreement? All right, with that being said, is there a motion from the board on the approval of the CBA? Although Attorney Cantrell is here, I was really hoping that Mr. Brandon Boyles would be here too, in case we have any questions. So I guess with that being said, with Brandon not being here, I'm looking for a motion to table this until the next meeting, until Mr. Boyles can come, and we can direct any questions we might have towards him.
Okay, I'm also here, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have, but I understand the board's position.
I would just like Mr. Bowles to be here, just so we can ask him questions.
Mr. President, move to table.
All right, a motion made by trustee Gomez,
I'll second that motion.
a second made by trustee Rodriguez. Is there any discussion at this point? All right, seeing and hearing none, we'll go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor of tabling this, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All oppose? Any abstentions? All right. Item is tabled. Next, we have approval of the 3% increase for non-certified and non-union administrators. Is there any comments from the audience on 6.14? Seeing and hearing none, is there a motion from the board on the approval of 6.14?
Mr. President,
Yes,
I
trustee.
move to table this item.
All right. A motion made by trustee Gomez. A second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All oppose? Any abstentions? Motion passes. All right, next, we have 6.15, the approval of agreement with Paul McGrath. This agreement is for HVAC consultant, and it will go from December 5th, 2023 till December 31st, 2024. Is there any questions or comments from the audience on the approval of 6.15? Paul McGrath is our HVAC consultant. Is there any other questions or comments from the audience at this time? This is December 5th, 2023. All right, I'm looking for a motion from the board for the approval of 6.15.
Mr. President, I make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez, second made by trustee Gomez. Is there any discussion at this time?
Mr. President,
Yes.
just to clarify, I think there was a question from the public during the public comment as to whether it was retroactive to December of '23, and it's not. There was another, the prior contract covered that period. This particular amendment is retroactive to February 5th of '24. That's when the current agreement, or what was then current, expired, and it goes back to that date. Just to
Oh,
clarify.
okay, I see it here
Yeah.
at the bottom, yes.
Yeah.
February 5th, 2024. Okay. All right. Is there any other questions or comments at this time? All right, seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All oppose? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next on the agenda, we have 6.17, the approval of the summer school contract. Keenan or Super? Oh,
Super Psych.
okay. Sorry. Next on the agenda is 6.16, the approval of addendum number 2 to contract for super psych services for summer school.
Yes, we do have services that we offer our students, and this particular contractor provides services in speech and language pathology. We do have Director Tammy Poe that can provide additional information.
Yes, each of the contracts that you have in front of you are for summer school, and she is a current contractor, and so we're just asking for approval for summer school so that she can work with the students and complete some assessments as specified in the contract.
Is there any comments from the audience at this time for the approval of 6.16? Seeing and hearing none, I'm looking for a motion for the approval of 6.16.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve 6.16.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez,
Second.
second made by trustee Smith. Is there any questions or comments at this, or any discussion items at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have 6.17, the approval of the summer school contract for Kina Hoyle.
Yes, this particular contract is for occupational therapists, and Kina works with, doing work with our students for IEPs. She also does some testing for high learning and ability. We do have Ms. Tammy Poe that can provide additional information if needed.
Yes, Kina will be providing occupational therapy services within the IEPs this summer, as well as, you said, testing and assisting with behaviors and strategies for children with autism throughout the summer.
Thank you. Is there any questions, or sorry, any comments from the audience at the time for the approval of the summer school contract? Seeing and hearing none, I'm looking for a motion from the board on the approval of 6.16.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve 6.1.
No, 18, 6.18. So he's on.
Oh, sorry.
6.17?
Yeah, 6.17.
I make a motion to approve 6.17.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez, second made by trustee Gomez. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have 6.18, approval of summer 2024 contract addendum for Kelly Sabert.
Yes. Kelly Sievert, this is, EPIC is our education staffing organization, and they also provide special education services for our students for during this summertime. We do have Ms. Tammy Poe that can provide additional information.
Yes, Kelly is one of the speech pathologists that will be providing the speech services for all of the students and, of course, the assessments as well.
Thank you. At this time, is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.18? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead, or sorry. Seeing and hearing none, is there a motion from the board for the approval of 6.18?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Gomez, second made by trustee Rodriguez. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to ask Ms. Poe, these contracts here, these coming out of your dollars, right? Your special ed dollars?
Actually, the ESSER dollars for summer school
Oh,
this year.
these are all ESSER dollars?
ESSER dollars, yes.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, is there any other discussion points at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next, we have 6.19, approval of Tradewinds Deaf Services Summer Contract 2024.
Yes, we do have a relationship with Tradewinds, and they've been tremendous, especially helping out with deaf services, providing interpretation services. We do have Ms. Tammy Poe that can provide further detail about the interpretation services that Tradewinds provides for our students.
Yes, this is for one interpreter for a student who is in the general education, and she provides the sign language for the student, so he is able to participate in his general education classroom and sign.
Is there any comments from the audience on the approval of 6.19? Yeah.
That's right.
Mr. President?
It's compensation, yes. It's $3,127. It's $3,127. No, those on the actual contracts, yes. For that one, there's, can I say $3,127.50?
Is there any other comments from the audience at this time?
Ask Ms. Poe this question. These are ESSER dollars too?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Seeing and hearing none, is there a motion from the board for the approval of 6.19?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve 6.19.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez. I'll go ahead and make this, I'll go ahead and make the second. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Lastly, we have 6.20, retroactive approval of the leadership profile for the superintendent search. Okay, oh, yeah. So in the middle of the, or as we were starting the superintendent search, one thing that we did is we partnered with BWP and Associates, and after gathering and incorporating the quantitative and the qualitative data from the community engagement process, they listed out 10 things that the community was looking for in this superintendent. And just very quickly, let me just go through the 10 just to remind everyone. The first one was a strong patient leader who is collaborative and will be visible and involved in schools and the community. 2, a visionary who is approachable, personable, and one who recognizes the importance of accountability for everyone. 3, someone who is a good listener and communicator and will be transparent in their actions. 4, the individual will have a strong personality with a demonstrated excellent administrative and instructional leadership skills. 5, a person who knows the understanding of Black and Latino communities and comes with experience in successfully working in urban settings. 6, someone who is a data-driven instructional leader with a proven record of academic success and school turnaround experiences in urban communities. 7, an individual who has familiarity with or can understand and relate to the East Chicago community at large. 8, a passionate leader who is child-centered and believes in placing children first. 9, someone who is skilled in board superintendent relationships and can support, work with, and lead our board in unity. And 10, a relationship builder who will continue to foster community and organizational partnerships for the good of our students and our community. So the board, shortly after BWP and Associates were here, we went ahead and approved it so we can place it on the BWP's website as part of their leadership profile for those applicants that wanted to look at it and also apply to our district. So this is just a retroactive approval for the leadership profile. Is there any comments from the audience on the retroactive approval of 6.20? Seeing and hearing none, I'm looking for a motion from the board on the approval, retroactive approval of 6.20.
Mr. President, I move for approval.
A motion made by trustee Gomez.
Second.
Second made by trustee Rodriguez. Is there any discussions? Seeing and hearing none, we will go ahead with a roll call vote.
Trustee Gibson King,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Chairman Archiega?
Yes, motion passes. At this time, we have public forum. Attorney Harris.
Good evening. If you could please step to the podium. If you signed up to speak, state your name and your address. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. It is not a question and answer session. However, the staff is listening to your comments. I would caution you not to discuss individual personnel matters. Obviously, if you have comments to make regarding personnel generally, you can do that, but you should not discuss your individual personnel matter. Thank you.
Yes, you finish, yes, first person is Deanna Biddings.
Okay, my name is Deanna Biddens, 3606 Michigan Court. I just would like to present the board with something. I would like it investigated and then contacted. Am I able to give this to you? Paper?
Paper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Darlene Blair. Oh,
One more time.
yeah, Darlene Blair, is the president. Oh, that's you? Okay. Oh, yeah.
To the podium, please. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Darlene Blair. I'm the mother of Deanna Biddings. I just came to kind of speak a little bit to her character. She's a very good person. She always trying to help people, and she always go overboard and beyond for those who need help. And so I just wanted to kind of speak a little bit about the situation that's going on. She would come home and tell me how she had to do a lot of different jobs. It's like she had more than one job.
Ma'am, if I can interrupt you, if you could not go into the details of the situation, you're perfectly free to comment on her character and all those things, those great things, but not the specifics of her personnel situation.
Okay, thank you. So like I said, I just wanted to speak a little bit to her character. She always going, trying to help people. Like I said, she go over and beyond, trying to help. You know, she will never hurt anybody. Her heart is with her job, and she always do the things that she needs to do to get it done. And she's a very good person. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Diana Darden.
It's a nice jacket.
Diana Darden, 7415 William Street, Maryville, Indiana. I just wanted to come on a good note. School is coming to an end, and I'm a part of the alumni group, everybody know. And I was just proud to be able to say and thank the board and the alumni and the community for the things we have accomplished as far as giving back to our school. At the beginning of the year, we did something with the football team, feeding the players, helping out when it was basketball season, and recently with the baseball team. So we want to make sure from this point on, we continue to do bigger and better things. Our main goal always been Central, but from the advice given from Mr. Mitchell and even from the coach, watching what they do with the basketball, I think it's going to be important that we start at the bottom in the elementary schools as well as the middle school, instead of just focusing on Central. Because, I mean, they're going to eventually be alumni too. So I just want to thank you guys for always giving us the opportunity. You would know problems or whatever we want to do in the schools, to give back or to give events, and just remind everybody to save the date of July the 12th. We're having the Academy Awards at EC Central, and it's going to be honoring, it was a fun thing we did as seniors, in which they're about to do actually this Friday. Make sure you come out and support the seniors of 2024. But what we do is bring back some of the fun categories, but we have a lot of people doing great things, like all over the world, that need to be highlighted and be celebrated amongst the community and peers. So it's a fun night, but at the same time, it's a celebration of the things we have accomplished with the end goal of giving everything back to the current students so that they'll have the initiative and inspiration to be the same as us and come back later and do the same thing so we can continue to pour it to each other over and over. So I just want to remind everybody, make sure you come out again, July the 12th. And you also, the link is on Facebook, but you can also vote until June 1st as well. So, and we're taking donations. So that's why I'm here. But I just again want to say thanks to the board, because every time I come with something, you guys always got my back as far as like making sure we got to do what we got to do to get back to the kids. And I appreciate that for you to trust me and the alumni and believing in the visions that we had to try to bring the school spirit back and keep the spirit here. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Reverend Wade Jr. Gone. Jasmine Lotz.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Lai. I live in 4426 Arbutus Lane, and I'm in 10th grade. I'm a sophomore at East Chicago Central High School. I'm also a class president too, and I kind of thanks. I just wanted to state like my little memo. I wanted to start a bowling team at East Chicago at the high school, and I honestly think it's a good idea because. Along with some of my peers that have an expressed interest in learning the skill of bowling, we also solicited a current staff member to be our sponsor and coach if approved. And I have also researched for like uniforms and like how much that would cost. And there's a lot of benefits that comes with bowling, like scholarships. And most people don't really know about that. The sports probably like basketball, soccer and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things that can go into this. A bowling team can offer students the opportunity to learn a new skill, fellowship with other schools, and serve as a positive enrichment activity. I humbly ask that you consider approving the opportunity to establish a bowling team as an athletic sport or extracurricular activity. And if approved, I would like to meet with you and discuss a plan for incorporating this activity at East Chicago High School. So, thank you.
Who's you said you found a sponsor? You found one?
Yes.
Who is it?
Okay.
The sponsor that would like to do it is Julia Karakides. She's a CTE teacher at East Chicago Central High School. Yeah. And I talked with her about it, and I looked these things up with her. So, thank you.
Just for your information, Trustee Rodriguez is a bowler.
Oh.
Hit him up for some donations, dear.
Yes.
Thank you.
Trustee Smith, I don't need no donation.
He can buy your jackets.
Okay. All right, the next person is Mrs. Bonita White Arnold.
Benita White Arnold, 4821 Drummond Street, East Chicago. I just first of all want to say thank you for voting for Carrie Gosh to be with the letter, so that hopefully we can get some money, the dollars, to help us to bring that to life. And I was listening to you giving out the 10 points for the incoming superintendent, the search At each point, I kept saying Marlon, Marlon, 10 times. And for me, I just want to implore you guys to, you know, when the pastor gets up, he says, Lord, reduce me and increase him. Ask yourselves that. Be true to this search. We're sick and tired of looking for superintendents and starting over and over. They got to learn the community. Will they come to the games? Will they be a good leader? Will they do this? Look at Marlon's team. They're always competent. Look at our schools. They look good. Look at the vision that he has with the Mr. program from Chicago. He's been here less than a year. I'm really, if I was in his shoes, I probably would just say, forget y'all. Because I think it's an insult that you would even be considering looking for someone else when he's come with so much talent. And he hits the mark on every 10 points. So again, don't be political. I know it's time for some of you guys to run, but don't be political. Be about these kids. You say kids first. Be about these babies because he is doing so much. And as a matter of fact, when he speaks, he's a businessman. And if we be true to ourselves, this is a business. He understands all of the language, not just the education part, but when you get to talking about the unions and what you have and what you don't have, he fits the mark. So please, tomorrow when you go in for that confidentiality, make sure Marlon's name is first on that list. And because you know what? I call myself Benita White Arnold, tried, trusted, and true. Marlon, you're on the same page with me. He's tried, trusted, and true. Thank you.
Okay, we have Mrs. Randolph. Now, Ms. Randolph?
Good evening, Linda Randolph, 4437 Alder Street. I just wanted to clarify to the public, first of all, thank you to all the parents and students that did the survey and everything. Because my name was on information that went out to respond to me and this and that, the community seems to think I know everything. And my job was to help pull that information together for the survey and coming to the informational meetings and all. But I just want the community to understand, I don't know who all applied. I don't know who you're picking. I'm not at the table of conversation. Do I think I know enough that I could be? Sure. But I'm not at the table. I just did the servant's job that I was given to bring the community together. Thank you.
That concludes the public comments.
Next, we have trustee remarks, and we'll begin with Ms. Lott.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So, I am a senior, if you all didn't know. I'm sure everybody here knew. But I'm graduating soon, and I think this is the last board meeting I'd be coming to, like, during the school year. I just wanted to make that known. But, one thing that I have to say is that I feel like I'm reflecting on my time as a high school student and, you know, everything I've done, everything I've accomplished, thinking about how I've been affected by this, that, and the other. And one thing that I will say is that I don't feel like college readiness is really, like, ingrained in at least the high school. I feel like to succeed on a college level at Central, you have to be a real self-starter. And I know, like, a lot of students and, like, my peers and my, what do you call it, predecessors have come back and they've told me, like, I mean, these are people who've taken, like, the hardest course loads ever, loaded with AP classes, dual credit, all this and the other. And they've told me, like, that they weren't really prepared for college coursework or, like, the rigor that they experience there. And I feel like that's wrong. And also, one thing that I feel like is a huge setup is that juniors don't, like, as a junior, you take the SAT, first time it's offered to you by the school is late March when you need it for the fall of your senior year. That doesn't make sense to me. I've never understood that. But that's just one of the things I mean, like, in order to succeed, like, on that level, you really have to, like, you have to go to your counselor and you have to ask them, hey, can I get my waiver? And then you have to do all of that on your own. And then we have 4 counselors for like a little over 1,000 students, which, I mean, you divide that's like 250 per counselor. That's backwards to me. So, yeah. There. Let me see what else. Oh, and I went to my friend who goes to Hobart High School. She graduated high school with an associate's degree from Ivy Tech, and I just think that's so cool. And that's something that we could have here. Because, I mean, when I looked out into the crowd, like almost half of the graduates had on those purple cloaks, meaning that they were from Hobart High School. So clearly it's a big program over there. And I feel like in order to push college readiness and everything over here, we could have something like that. You know, I feel like a lot of us students would really benefit from that. I could go on and on about like what I feel could be done differently to prepare us for college, but I'm not going to do that right now because there's really no point. But also, another thing, I feel like not a lot is done for students when it comes to like protecting them from certain things, because I myself experienced something, I think it was the worst thing ever. Somebody else might not, but I'm just going to say it was something that could have directly hindered my success in a dual credit course. And I think that's insane, and I think that that's something that shouldn't be happening. And then I looked into the school boards, like, what is it called? Not the policies, it was the staff handbook. And there was really nothing that addressed my situation, but I feel like my situation is something that needs to be directly addressed. And I don't feel like, I can't speak on it, but I don't feel like it was handled properly. It was rectified, but I feel like there should be a lot more done to prevent that, because it was something I feel like could affect a lot more people, in my opinion. And it's just not right. Let me see. So yeah, I would be fine like sharing what the situation was. I don't have a problem doing that. I just don't know if I can. But yeah, and then I also feel like okay, if I want to, I can. Okay, so it was retaliation, more specifically. It was for a disciplinary matter, which, you know, I'm a child, I make mistakes, it is what it is. But my grade was affected. So I looked it up, did some research on my own, and I found something. It was like School City of Hobart versus Smith, 1993, something like that. And it stated that basing a student's academic success off of their, like, a disciplinary action associating the two is unlawful. So either way, whether or not I was wrong, nothing to do with it, but yeah. That was the situation. I could go more into detail into it and use names and everything, or tell you what the course was, but I'm not going to do all that. And I feel like as a student at Central, socialism, like not socialism, but like being socialized is very heavily ingrained. I feel like that's really what the goal is going there, because like I said, I don't feel like it's college readiness, and I don't feel like we're really pushed. I love the CTE program, I really do. And I love like what comes from it, but I don't feel like we're pushed into trades really necessarily. Like more like finding an interest area, which I think is amazing anyway. But like, so if the goal isn't to leave ready for college, it's not to really prepare you for the workforce in a way that's really helpful. And it's really only to leave with a diploma and what? You know? And also uniforms. This is something I hear a big people make a big fuss about this. I personally don't really care about it, but the thing that I see that's negative about it is it's just a way like more disciplinary actions come from that. And I don't see how students benefit from a uniform other than to be socialized. Like school to prison pipeline, that's what that feels like to me. Yeah. So that's my little reflection of my time there at Chicago Central. There are some really amazing things, like I've met some really amazing people that I would have not been able to succeed at all without. I've had some great experiences. I think we have a lot of people who really care about us there, and I feel like we are a very tight-knit community. And that is what I love about East Chicago, and especially being a student at Central, that I feel like I wouldn't get anywhere else. But there are some things that are inherently bad. And on a more lighthearted note, like I said, I'm a senior. So a lot of things have been happening. Prom, it was amazing. I loved it. I had so much fun. Very fancy venue. We worked hard to pay for that venue. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. A lot of selling. Grand March was beautiful. And then we went to Six Flags overnight, which was fun. Trying to think what else. And this week, we have the Academy Awards, the Panoramic Picture Grad Walk, which is something I'm so excited to see because both of my parents work in the school, so that's going to be very emotional, them seeing their baby walk in the hall and everything else, very fun. And then our Academy Awards that night, so Friday's going to be a busy day. And if you want to purchase a ticket to the Academy Awards, buy it from me. $7 in advance, $10 at the door. So I'm giving you all a deal. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say right now. Thank you all.
Trustee Rodriguez?
No report at this time. Thank you.
Trustee Smith?
No.
Trustee Gibson?
Yes, thank you. I want to say this to Chelsea. You're the first that have sat at the table with us, and that's a plus. It was a need for this a long time ago, but it was never too late. And I think that we need to hear more from our students because you all know what goes on in our schools more so than we do. You all know what you need. We need to hear your voices. We need to know your concerns. And that is a big factor that we do not have access to, as being not in schools. We have people that are in there, but we need someone to sit at this table with us. So I know me and my colleagues up here, we really enjoyed you coming here, and we're going to have the seat. I hope that you say, when are you graduating now, in June? You're going to be back again at the next meeting, right?
We have one more.
Yeah, one more meeting to come back with us. And I want to thank your mother for allowing you to come to sit up at the board with us, and I hope that this is something that we can prepare our young people for, to know what this school board is all about, to know what the board really does, so that they can have an opportunity. This opportunity is for them, to come in. They're in a different world than what I came up in. I'm struggling with it, but I'm here, and I'm fighting for them. I'm going to fight for them, all the time, as well as the board is. But I just want to thank you, Chelsea, for coming here and sitting up here, as well as my colleagues do, too. I know that they appreciate what you have said, and we're going to continue to have someone sitting at the board with us. Thank you.
Trustee Gomez?
No, I'm fine. I just, again, want to thank Chelsea, though, for her comments, and the teachers and staff who, for the last year and then for 4 years, have done the best they can to provide an education for our students. But I've heard many of the same issues that she's brought up tonight, previous to this evening. So I know there's more work to be done. That concludes my remarks.
Chelsea, thanks for always coming. Even though I know that these meetings can be a lot, that they can be long, and I appreciate you staying. and joining us every chance you can. And thank you for sharing with us your experience. A couple of things I want to do. I just want to wish everybody, wish the teachers a belated Happy Teacher Appreciation Week last week. Hopefully you enjoyed the week. I know it's one of my favorite weeks because you really get to see the impact that some of the kids have in your lives. And really, it's just, at least for me, it's just the kids coming up and wishing you a Happy Teachers Appreciation Week and kind of sharing stories that always makes my week. Speaking of teachers, I just want to congratulate the top 20 students again. It was nice to go and celebrate with them. It was nice to celebrate with the whole community, celebrate with their teachers, and hear how these teachers have made a positive impact on these students. Talking about making an impact, I do also want to thank some of the teachers that took the students to Six Flags. I think the so you guys probably left like at what, 7 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock at night, and then you ended up coming home at what time, 6 o'clock in the morning? Oh, 4:34, but by the time you got home, 6 a.m., all right? And I imagine you did it for free. So I just want to thank all those that made it a really nice opportunity to go with the kids and to chaperone these kids on that great little field trip. I just got an email this afternoon that I want to share with Chelsea. It looks like we ordered some senior yard signs for the seniors to pick up and to place in their yard. And it says, East Chicago Central High School, proud home of a senior graduate class of 2024. So we would hopefully have them ready for pickup on Friday, if not on Monday, or sometime next week. So you can share that with your classmates that is coming to them soon. And then the last little point, as it was Mother's Day this past Sunday, I want to wish everybody a happy belated Mother's Day. Thank you. All right. With that being said, the date and time of our next meeting is Tuesday, May 28th, 2024, at 6 o'clock p.m.
Oh, wait 1 minute.
Oh, who'd I miss?
Is the meeting going to be at Central?
I got, he said no.
He said no.
Yeah, Joel, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, location to be announced. Is there a motion for dismissal?
Yes, motion made.
Motion made by trustee Gibson. Second made by trustee Rodriguez. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions?